Welcome to this meeting of Humans Anonymous. My name is Landon. Am I doing this show by myself? I really hope not. That would be bad. I don't do things well by myself. No, I will not be doing this show by myself today. Obviously, my good wife, Amaria, is not joining me in the studio, but I will be joined by two excellent gentlemen. We've got a great episode planned for you guys today. Going to get into a little bit more serious stuff than we typically do, but I think it's going to be a great episode. Kind of just preparing for this has really opened my eyes a lot, and so I'm excited to be able to introduce you guys to an awesome dude that actually has a lot of history with the MWAH troupe. And so because I'm all alone here in the studio, and I'll probably just rant if I keep going, I'll try to wrap things up. But remember, guys, if you are liking the content, A, we appreciate you. Keep watching, keep listening. B, check out MWAH.net. That's MWAH.net. We've got some more content up there, as well as ways to contact us if you'd like us to come and speak at a school, speak at an event. That's something we've been doing with MWAH for years. And so definitely, if you're liking what we're doing, you think we should come to your school, definitely reach out. So today in the studio, in the background, as always, Aaron, we have our producer, Aaron. He'll be joining us today for the episode. Aaron, if you want to hop in here, how are you doing, man?
Hello. Doing good.
Going?
Doing good.
Happy evening.
Yes. No, I'm excited tonight.
Yes. So, like I said, we've got a guest coming in today. Obviously, Aaron, you're always a guest on the show. It's always good to have you, but you've become a little bit more of a regular. So we have a guest this week on our show. A guy who, like I said, a lot of history with the troupe. He just dropped a new single song back in January, I believe, 19th. Of last month. He just dropped a new single, and he's been actually doing a lot for the community in his hometown in Minnesota, as well as all over for some pretty serious issues that he's been addressing with law enforcement. And so we'll get into all of that as we bring him in. Buddy McLean, or Andre.
Yes.
How you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing pretty good. So with my experience with MWAH, it was Andre Locke.
Andre Locke. And because see, when Ray introduced me to you, and real quick, I want to tell a little story about you, Andre, and you probably don't even remember this.
Okay.
But one of the first times that we ever talked was about 4 years ago, and it was in, I believe, February, March of 2020. And I had just gotten out of the hospital, and I was staying with Ray, recovering. And he got me on the horn with a couple of guys who had been in the Explosonic Rockers back in the day, which was the troupe before the troupe.
Yes.
And you know, I don't even know if you remember the conversation we had, but you just really encouraged me to stay on the path that I was going on, and definitely have remembered that conversation for a long time. So it's good to be able to have you on the podcast, talking to you again. And yeah, welcome.
You know what? Thank you so much. And I do remember that, actually. And
yeah,
and I don't remember the conversation in detail, but I know that I did talk with you, and I'm happy that it resonated with you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely it did. So real quick, before we kind of get into what's been going on with you lately, man, I did want to talk about the Explosonic Rockers back in the day, man. I've heard a lot about them. Now, they were a street dance troupe.
Yes.
And they would travel around and kind of do the same thing we do at MWAH, but they would dance, right? And you guys would incorporate positive messages into that, is kind of what I'm hearing. I've seen a lot of photos. Haven't seen a lot of videos.
Well, you know what? That was 39 years ago, right?
Back in 84, right?
84, 85. So yeah. Okay. So almost about 40 years ago now. And I was 11 years old. And so 84, I was 11 in 84 when I joined the Explosonic Rockers. And we started off as a breakdance group. And we were actually the #1 breakdance group in entire Chicago. Where we battled every crew, even the New York Breakers, we battled.
Oh wow.
The New York City Breakers. Yep. So and there was this this competition called the Saxon Fest.
Okay.
And where they had 5,000 groups, and we beat every group in the entire city to become the #1 breakdance group that made the headlines and made the Sun Times, of course, the Sun Times paper, the Star Tribune.
And were all of you guys out of Chicago?
We were all out of Chicago, absolutely. So, and that group was a special group because it had these two guys, Lawrence and Lloyd, out of the projects. They were in, if I'm not mistaken, they were in the Henry Horner homes, and they were called the Electric Dominoes at the time. So we were the Explosonic Rockers and the Electric Dominoes, and this group of guys was so special. And we had some guys out of Melrose Park, Rick Garcia. We had Vince. These guys were so special with their talents, and they were really good breakdancers. I'm talking about top of the line breakdancers. And the guy who put everything together for us was Steve Brewster, the one and only Steve Brewster. I can do jack of all trades, can do anything, can do any and all things. And I'm telling you, this guy, even to this day, I work with Steve.
That's what I was gonna say. Didn't he help out on the album cover?
He actually, if you look at majority of my covers, he did majority of the covers, except for
yeah, he's a great artist.
Absolutely, except for the cover with the Sounds of Blackness. That was done by one of the members of the Sounds of Blackness for this song called So Thankful. But yeah, Steve, this latest cover, but just a great mentor, a great person to have in your life. Someone who's actually, man, this guy is so talented. Just, it goes beyond words how talented he is. And also for him to be his age and to look like he's in his 20s right now. This guy's in his 60s and looks like he's in his 20s. I'm telling you, he's a beautiful human being.
I've always had a great experience with, he's just been very encouraging about this podcast, about my sobriety, because Ray, again, he got me to call Steve Brewster back when I was first getting sober. You know, Ray's very persistent. If he wants you to talk to someone, he'll get you to talk to him. I love Steve Brewster. He's to this day encouraging me.
Yes, Ray was very persistent about this podcast and making sure that I made it to the podcast, and I promised him that I would, because everything is about timing. So yeah. So also I have to also talk about my cousin Reggie McClure.
Okay.
And Reggie McClure was a special part of my life. He's the one that taught me how to break dance. He's the one that taught me how to dance, and he ended up becoming a part of the group also.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, and just for the height that we went to, so we started off breakdancing, and then we started off, so we went from breakdancing to being the troupe that you know us to be, into the things that MWAH is into as of right now. So our message back then was saying no to drugs, and being from the inner city of Chicago, the west side of Chicago, K-Town, a lot of it was drug infested through my entire neighborhood. A lot of drug dealing, a lot of drug sales, lots of murders, a lot of everything in that community. And the Explosonic Rockers took me out of that community and showed me that it was something else in the world, that there were other places to be. Because for a while, I only knew the west side of Chicago. I didn't even travel on the south side. Every now and then I would, because I had relatives over there, but I only knew the west side for majority of my life. At least 15 years of my life there. So I'm sorry, because I can go on.
No, you're good.
Man.
No, I love to hear kind of the backstory and where you're from. That's all important. I mean, everything goes into where you're at and who you are now. So yeah, no, all of that's important. So in the realm of kind of the Explosonic Rockers, we've talked about Ray a little bit on this show before. What's been your experience with Ray? Because that man, to me, has always seemed like his life is just dedicated to helping people. I'm not sure if he does anything else other than just think of different ways to try to help people who need it,
Ray Moffett is, how could I describe Ray Moffett in a few words? Amazing, patient, understanding, encouraging, helpful. I could keep going.
Yeah.
Because Ray embodies all of those things. And Ray saw something in us years ago that he wanted to help bring out. He saw talent, and he wanted us to express our talents, but he wanted us to use our talents where we were able to help other people. So Ray Moffett taught the Explosonic Rockers how to express ourselves, how to speak, how to present ourselves on television, how to present ourselves in interviews. Ray Moffett taught us proper English, because it was all about the hood at the time, and that's what we knew. So Ray helped us embody life experiences that we're going through now, but also to be able to see that there was more to the West Side and also just Maywood, Illinois, that there was more to this world than just what we were seeing.
Yeah, it's like he somehow makes you not just see the best of things, but like he brings the best out of you too. Yeah, he definitely has that double-edged sword a little bit. And I love asking that question to people who know Ray, because I feel like he's just been such a unique individual in my life, and I feel like anyone who comes in contact with him feels that, right away.
I mean, absolutely. I lived with Ray.
Yeah.
I lived with Ray for a while, and Ray helped me. Ray helped me to graduate. Ray helped me to be able to go to Lincoln Park Preparatory School for the Arts.
Wow.
Lincoln Park. So I would leave Ray's house and go to Lincoln Park every day.
That apartment in
Maywood.
Oh,
right across from Proviso East, right next to Al's, the restaurant.
Yeah.
The Chinese American restaurant. But whenever I come to Chicago, I always go there and eat.
Oh, really?
always, because that brings back my childhood memories, and the great time that I had with the Explosonic Rockers.
Yeah. And
then it also gives me an opportunity to visit Maywood, an area at the time that was a suburb of Chicago. So it's different now.
Yeah, it's a lot different now.
it's the hood now.
Yeah,
but before it was the suburb. So, and it was an outlet for me, growing up in K-Town. So it gave me an opportunity to get away and to be able to express myself.
Yeah.
And to, and to becoming the person in which I am today.
Definitely. Yeah. Definitely. So obviously your performing, your love for the arts did not stop with the Explosonic Rockers. That's something that you've carried with you up until, very, very recently. Can you kind of talk to me about this new song, Where the Love At, with River Smith? What's kind of like the inspiration behind that song?
Well, first off, shout out to River Smith. Shout out to her father, who was a part of the Explosonic Rockers, who produced the song.
Was that Mark?
Mark, yep.
Yeah.
Platinum gold records, platinum producer. He's worked with everyone in this music industry, from Celine.
That's another alumni of the Explosonic Rockers.
Another alumni who this dude has so many accolades, and he's so humble and down to earth. And he and his wife Sylvia Smith, super producers. Between both of them, and they may not pat themselves on the back, but I'm gonna do it for them, because as learning his wife and knowing him, just a beautiful person. So I'll tell you about the song and what inspired the song, but I have to talk about Mark also, because Mark he's playing a huge part of my life, and especially what's taking place now, from the current things. And Mark taught me how to DJ.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So we started off rapping and DJing. So we were break dancing, rapping and DJing with the Explosonic Rockers. And Mark taught me how to DJ. So he taught me how to scratch, taught me how to blend, taught me how to do everything. So now you see where his talents went to.
Yeah.
You see. So the song was produced by
and
Mark.
You guys are still working together.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's awesome.
Man, it's beautiful. Steve,
some lifelong relationships, man.
Absolutely. Steve on the artwork and the mentorship, Mark on the mentorship and production. And I'm telling you, man, just this thing that Ray embodied in all of us, and we're still pushing it. So where the love at was inspired from a number of things. You know, I'm a hip hop artist. I'm a hip hop dad now. And I had some success in the music industry some years ago, where I started off in the Source magazine and Unsigned Hype. Riggs Morales, who was a part of the Source magazine at the time. This is when the Source was considered the Bible of hip hop.
Okay.
And this was around 1990, 98, 99 when that happened. But I broke into the scene in 1997. I'm gonna catch you up on what inspired the song.
Yeah.
So I did a lot of street records back in the day. I talked about my experiences in Chicago, family experiences, and everything that I saw. So I just talked about my life experiences and what I was seeing with concrete music is what I would call it then. And where the love at, let's fast forward. Some things ended up happening in my life where things derailed for a short period of time. And I was able to come out of that and to retract and to get back on my feet and to resurface back into the music industry that I've been active for the last 8 or 9 years through college radio. College radio has been keeping me alive through Ness Rodriguez, who was a center point of Seattle, who put Sir Mix-a-Lot on back in the day. My Posse's on Broadway, if you know that song, and Baby Got Back. I know you know that one.
Everybody know that song.
All right, so Nasty Ness, shout out to Nasty Ness. With Rap Attack Lives, that is the college charts where you hit each of these stations through college radio, but you also chart almost like Billboard.
Okay.
So and right now that song is charting. So where the love at was inspired because of the music nowadays. It's so much killing on the music right now, and I'm not knocking nothing that everybody's doing. So to each his own for whatever they do. It's a lot of good music that's out there, but how many times can you kill somebody on a record?
Right.
That's where I was going with it. So I wanted to push love for a little bit. I wanted let's get back to partying and having fun.
Yeah.
and instead of embracing all of the killing music when you in these clubs and stuff like that, let's have fun. Let's get back to that. So that's what inspired where the love at. And when Mark sent me the song, he actually produced the song, and it was for someone else in the early stages. But then he thought about it and was like, man, he was like, Dre would sound good on this. He was like, Buddy would sound really good on this record. So he told the guy that he had the record for someone else, and the guy didn't write anything. The artist hadn't wrote anything to it anyway. So when he told me about the record first, and then he said, I have this record for you that I think will really work. And I said, okay. He sent the track over, and oh my goodness, I had the first part of the verse right away. So I'm talking about instantly. I was
that's how you know it's supposed to happen.
Oh man, I'm talking about soon as I played it in the truck, the first words that I said, I called him back, so I can let him hear. I said, I already know what I want to call it. He was like, what? I said, where the love at? I said, man, this is gonna bring people back around to having fun. And he was like, how would you start it? I said, so much hate, where the love at? That's how I started it.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's what inspired the song. Wanted to push fun, wanting to push love, wanted to push that it's more to than dying, that it's okay to live.
Yeah.
So that's what inspired it.
No, I love that. I think that music for a long time was about just bringing people together and having a good time. And like at some point along the way, we got more interested in other things. And yeah, I love the idea of just bringing music back to like, let's just party. Let's just have fun. We don't need to be talking about something crazy. Like, let's just love. I love that. And we say it on here all the time. I think the most important thing in life is love. That's the only thing holding us together right now is a little bit of love. Like, I know there's a lot of hate out there. I know there's a lot of negativity out there, but there's just enough love to keep us floating. So I love that, man.
and then there's so much that's going on in everyone's life. Everyone has their own story, so we need a break sometime.
Oh yeah.
And music has always been a go-to for many of our parents, for many of us, for many people around the world. Music is a go-to where you can relax, where you can think about things, where you can get your mind in order, you know. So and I'm happy that you touched on that. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So next, I do want to kind of talk about some stuff that's been going on with you a little bit more recently. Back in February of 2022, there was obviously some events that have taken place. Some people may know and some people may not. But your son, Amir, at the age of 22, was shot by the Minneapolis police, correct?
Yes.
And so I know that I believe it was last year or maybe 23. Yeah, 23. You came out with a documentary called The Amir Locke Story. Do you mind if we kind of start there?
All right. So yeah, we'll start there. So Amir, to your listening audience, my son Amir Locke was killed on a botch, no-knock warrant on February the 2nd of 2022 in the wee hour mornings after working a hard night of doing DoorDash. And he was visiting relatives at the time. And it was a botch no-knock warrant because the warrant didn't have anything to do with anyone that lived in the unit. It had nothing to do with Amir at all. His name was not on the warrant. He had nothing to do with anything that was going on. And Amir was asleep on a couch when the Minneapolis SWAT team snuck into the apartment with a key fob and kicked the couch. That startled Amir. You could see him jump and reach for his handgun that he had the right to carry as well, just so that you know that.
Yeah.
Right. And so within 3 to 9 seconds, Amir was gunned down by the Minneapolis police while he still had the blanket over his head. So Amir never got a chance to see who was in that apartment, who actually took his life. This is what I believe from all of the footage and everything that we've seen. And I was able to see 56 body cam footage. So the Amir Locke story is based on those body cam footage. So where it tells the story itself, we don't have to narrate anything. I'm thankful to Amir's uncle and his aunt, Linda Tyler, and Andrew Tyler. They own Andrew Tyler actually owns his own film company, and this is Amir's uncle on his mother's side, that's married to Amir's mother's sister. and Andrew Tyler owns Tyler Man Films, and they were just documenting everything as we went along while we were going through this process of finding out exactly what happened to Amir. So Andrew brought his camera along and decided to document everything step by step. And while he was documenting everything step by step, all of these different things just unfolded the way that it did. It was God sent, for us to be in all of these different places: Washington D.C., Arkansas, New York, here, Chicago, all of these different cities that we ended up being in our efforts to get the word out that no-knock warrants are not safe for civilians or police. And we were able to push that message. We were able to push that message so much that we were able to get legislation passed here in Minnesota that restricts no-knock warrants from happening in Black and brown communities, and also throughout the entire state. So they can't just barbarically run into anyone's home any longer and use any phony excuses to do those things. And let me be clear, we are not against police,
right,
at all. I have police officers in my family. As a matter of fact, Reginald McClure, Officer Reginald McClure, is a part of the Explosonic Rockers. He is an alumni as well. and Reginald McClure is my first cousin, who also has been monumental in helping us in our efforts to get justice for Amir. So this thing is being pushed from every level. And when I say that, now his accolades are amazing as well, because he's such an amazing human being and down to earth. So I would touch on Reginald McClure with his efforts to help us, because Reginald McClure has been at the top of everything, and he's still at the top. So right now he's with Homeland Security. So but he's been at every level that you can think of. So, and he's just a phenomenal human being. And Amir was his little cousin, and he actually gave Amir tips on gun safety and how to handle himself, and how to how to interact with law enforcement. This is the same thing that Amir's mother and myself that we've done for a number of years. His mother is Karen Wells. So for the things that have taken place that has destroyed our family, we're in the rebuilding stage right now. It's so tough in rebuilding, because Amir's the oldest, the second oldest son out of 5 of my sons and 4 of my daughters. So I have 9 children. And Amir was one of those kids. Amir was extremely talented. Before he passed, Amir started a company called Saving the Youth LLC. And his thing was, he wanted to use music and getting into music. He and my oldest son, Andre, my junior, they're both into music heavy.
Okay.
And matter of fact, Amir and my son Andre is the reason that I even got back into music.
Wow.
Yeah, they're the reason that I started pushing hard again. They say, Dad, you don't need you can just record yourself at home, do this. They taught me how to record myself, how to get everything done. Why I didn't have to go into studios spending so much money, or trying to get into somebody's studio that didn't want me in their studio.
Right.
Everybody always busy.
Yep.
Somebody always got something to do. So those Amir and his oldest brother Andre taught me how to be self-sufficient with production and everything again. And I was extremely thankful for that, and proud of those guys. So Amir wanted to push his message of saving the youth through music, through clothing, through art, through speech, poems and things like that. This kid was ahead of his time, and he was so down to earth, man. And he was about generational wealth. He always talked about generational wealth and breaking strongholds that have been on our family for many years, and being able to be that person that would help lead us out of those things. So of hardship that our family has seen for many years.
Well, that's kind of incredible. That, I mean, he just seems like he was an amazing kid. First of all, we extend our deepest condolences. Obviously, that's a tragic thing to take place to anybody's family, and so we obviously extend our condolences to yours. It sounded like he was,
thank you,
the same way that you are, just passionate about doing something good, and it's so rare to find that.
yeah.
And what a unique talent to have, to be able to look at any situation, even with you looking at this situation that you're in, facing it head on, not blaming a whole group, not blaming a whole organization, but rather trying to fix the root of the issue so that it doesn't happen again. It's just, yeah, I appreciate you coming on and talking about all of this. Obviously, I know that it's definitely not easy, but it definitely, I think, helps anybody who's listening to see a perspective where you're not just looking for somebody to blame. There's actual vision for change. When we see that, it's unique, but those are the kind of people that really make things happen. And obviously in your home state, you're already making things happen. And so hats off to you.
You know what? Thank you so much. I'm thankful for this opportunity. Anytime that I'm able to speak about a mayor, to talk about my family, to talk about anything that I've gone through, I'm jumping on it.
Yeah.
And especially if it's positive. The media has a way of pushing certain narratives, and that's what we wanted to change with this documentary, the Amir Locke No Knock No Charge story. We don't have a distributor for it yet, but it was recently picked up by the Pan-African Film Festival out in LA.
Okay.
The biggest black film festival that there is. And it would be playing on February the 16th at the Pan-African Film Festival. So,
awesome.
So we were able to, so far, we were a part of the Thailand Film Festival in Chicago.
Okay.
That debuted the Amir Locke story. It was about 400 people that showed up out there. And
wow.
Let's see, where did they have it? And I have a lost word. It was in Chicago. And I'm trying to think of the theater that we had the opening. I can't think of it. It wasn't Lombard. It wasn't. I apologize. I can't.
No, you're fine.
Can't think of the city.
There's too many suburbs of Chicago, man.
Yeah, but it was a beautiful turnout, and I very eye opening. So with this story here, with this movie, with this documentary, you can't, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah.
Once you see it, you can't unsee it. So there's some trailers that are online. You can pull up the Amir Locke story, and you'll be able to see the trailers online on YouTube, and you'll be able to see some of the things in which I'm talking about.
Okay, and Aaron, we can throw a link up for that, right?
Yeah, I'm going to throw links up for everything that you've mentioned.
All right, so click on that on your screen, guys, if you want to kind of see more videos of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, our goal is for the world to see the truth, and that the truth needs no support.
Yeah.
So, like I said, once you see this documentary, you can't unsee it.
Right.
Now, there's another documentary that's out right now that we were a part of in the early stages with attorney Ben Crump. It's called The Sounds of the Police, and that is out right now on Hulu.
The Sounds of the Police. Gotcha.
Sounds of the Police, and that's on Hulu right now. And that documentary is done well.
Gotcha.
So anything that pushes Amir's story in a positive light, we are a part of.
Absolutely.
You know, my biggest thing was, why did we in the Black community, Black and brown communities, why do we have to continue to humanize our children like they don't matter? And we have to do this to white America because the same way that they're trying to keep Black history out of schools now, they don't want the truth to be told. A lot of white people don't live the way that we do. So there's only one race. There's a human race.
Yeah.
But different cultural backgrounds. And from slavery up until now, things are still a lot the same. And those are the things that we're still dealing with. Systematic racism is absolutely real.
Absolutely.
It is absolutely real. It is alive. It is breathing, and it's at every level.
Yeah.
So these are the things that we have to try to swim through in order to get justice for our loved ones. And many people have come before that have died from no-knock warrants, like Breonna Taylor. Thank God that it was unfortunate what happened to Breonna Taylor, as it's been unfortunate what took place with Amir. But their stories have opened up a door where change can happen. And this is what we're seeing it, we're living it, but we would like to see more. So definitely. With that being said, we have had help with Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, who introduced the bill in Congress, the Amir Locke deadly no-knock, the Amir Locke deadly no-knock charge bill. So where we would look to ban no-knock warrants throughout the country.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So we just want to ban them across the board.
Straight across the board.
So far that I know, there's at least 6 states that have complete bans on no-knock warrants.
Right.
And Minnesota just has the restrictions, but that's a start. And,
right.
Because they can't just pull it any longer.
Oh yeah.
What was your state of mind when you first realized that bill was going to pass, that you were a part of and kind of saw through? I think kind of taking something that was so bad and kind of building up to hopefully creating that change like that you mentioned. What was your mindset as far as kind of just where to put us where you were at when that kind of happened and realized that this was actually the change that you kind of helped pivot and push forward through everything that you kind of went through?
Well, I have to start off by thanking the representatives who were a part of the process. And I reached out to a great friend of mine who's a fellow hip hop artist here in Minnesota. But she's also fighting for the community, is Representative Maria Isa Perez Vega. And I'm talking about, she's dynamite, man. She's so fly, man. And just what she stands for. I knew her. I know our family. They're just beautiful people. And when I realized that no one was pushing for no-knock warrants, that it had been knocked down. Actually, let me say this. They have been trying to ban no-knock warrants for, some of the community activists have been, and legislature and representatives have been trying to ban no-knock warrants for the last 15 years prior to us getting the bill passed.
Right.
So it just have been being knocked down consistently. So when I realized that wasn't moving, God spoke to me. See, what I've learned is that, and I don't want to sound cliche or anything like that, and I don't want to sound over the top as a God hugger, but I am absolutely thankful for God using me and me being able to be obedient and being able to listen and knowing that God is the head of everything, and God has been the spearhead and my light that has given me direction. So let me start there by being able to say that none of this would have been able to take place without me being able to listen to God and being able to listen to direction and knowing when positive information was coming in and how to use that information. So God sent me a message, and this is what I mean by being able to listen to God. Um, I'm telling you my process, my thought process at the time. So when I realized that no one was pushing any longer, I wasn't hearing any conversation about no knock warrants. Okay. So God said to me, contact Maria Isa Perez Vega. So, when you get a thought about someone, my brother Gregory taught me, when you have a thought about someone, whether if they did you bad in the past or if it's something good, that means contact them right then and there. So that's one thing that I learned to do, is to contact people immediately when I think about them. So I placed a call to Representative Maria Isa Perez Vega, and she answered right away. And I told her, hey, listen, congratulations on your seat. Very proud of you, but I need your help. And she said, what could I help you with? I said, I need help with someone that won't be afraid to champion our cause to push no knock warrants being banned in the state.
Yeah.
Her response immediately was, let's go.
She just picked up the torch and ran with it, huh?
Her response was like, when you ready to get started? I already have the team for you.
Nice.
And I said, I want to start tomorrow. She said, meet me, and she gave me a date. Let's meet at the Capitol on this day, and I'll put everyone in place.
Wow.
So she ended up putting us in the right hands of the author of the bill, who authored the bill, and every representative beforehand that actually authored the bill that was knocked down. And when I realized that it was going to go through, shout out also Tony Romanucci's office, our attorneys as well, okay. Jennifer McGuthrin, who played a key part of this as well, of helping me get through this. And when I realized that it was going to happen, I don't want to sound funny or anything, but I could already see that it was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it when God told me to contact Maria Isa. And when things fall into place, when it just comes together, Now, don't get me wrong, I had to go fight for it. I went and fought for it. I went and to represent Amir in front of a judiciary board, and to fight for his life, to fight for his voice. So I had to do those things.
But how amazing for you to just call and that response, like how meant to be is that? How I mean, we say it all the time, right? That's God at work,
Absolutely. It was nothing but God at work, and it goes back to building relationships. Like you were talking about the relationships of some of the alumni of the Explosonic Rockers and MWAH, right? And it's the same. It's with everything. I've learned how to build relationships at every level. I have relationships in law enforcement. I have relationships with people that's in the streets. I have relationships with people that are in these prisons. I have relationships at every level that I need to have one at. Because I learned early not to burn bridges.
Yeah.
So because you never know who you may need help from.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you treat people the way that you want them to treat you. That's what my mother taught me. She taught us, treat people the way that you want them to treat your family.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you treat people with respect. You treat them like human beings. They'll give you the same thing in return.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And like you said, it's the human race. Like, I love the idea of treat the way you'd want someone else to treat your family, because that's somebody else's family, So that's a great way of kind of putting it in perspective. I have a question kind of more just personally for you.
Mm-hmm.
Through all of this over the last couple years, who has been your support?
My wife, Patsy. She has been tremendous, man. Just a super backbone. She's my best friend. She's my go-to. She the way that she encourages me to push forward with my craft of music, with everything that I love to do. Um, she's the how can I say this? She is the backbone of the household, where she holds everything together. She holds all of the glue together, and she's a tremendous woman, man. She's just beautiful. She's physically beautiful, but she is so beautiful on the inside. That inside beauty is just amazing, because you see what you get when you meet her. That's just her. And what I love about her overall is that God lent her to me, and He lent me someone that believes in the same thing that I do. She's on the same accord that I'm on. We believe in helping people. We believe in right and wrong. We believe in unity. We believe in love. We believe in prosperity. We believe in hard work, dedication, determination, and discipline. We believe in raising our family to be respectable and respectful people. We believe in safety. We believe um, in treating people with beauty, and that's how we approach life. But we're not gonna get it messed up either. We are people that don't take shorts either, at all. So we don't tolerate disrespect at all. So she's definitely been my backbone, and just she's very quiet. So she likes to be in the background of things. She doesn't like to be out front at all. So but you'll always see her by my side. And we're together. All of that walking behind me and all of that other stuff, that's not that. She's right there with me. So
no, that's great, man. You can't really ask for somebody better than your wife to, help you through, such an insanely, just a tough time, obviously, and
yeah,
to keep you pushing forward.
yeah,
Because I know how easy it would be for me to be stuck, and I can't even begin to imagine. And so to see you being so passionate about making this as as negative as it is, making it into something positive to come out of it. It definitely takes a lot of support, not to just be okay, but to do what you're doing. And so yeah, that's great. I love to hear that.
and we'll talk about the support outside of the home as well. The support outside of the home, this community has been tremendous here in Minnesota. Of course, you're not going to get everyone that agrees, with what is taking place. But who wants to see the right things happen? There's some people out there that just thrive in negativity and no accountability. As you know, Black lives don't matter to some people, and all lives should matter. So, and it's unfortunate that we have to keep pushing Black Lives Matter, because in a lot of circumstances, with certain white people, it doesn't. So this is the reason for pushing that message. So, but
no, I think that it's, you know, and growing up in Rockford, moving to Chicago, living in Milwaukee, I have always, you know, I have about 3 friends and none of them are white. And so I've always hung out with people that, you know, weren't necessarily white, and it had nothing to do with color or anything. It was just the people I ended up around. But as I got older, I was so, I guess, desensitized to the fact that racism was even a thing still, that I forgot, because that wasn't me. You know, I spent all of my time around, you know, a lot of different cultures. And, you know, my best friend's name is Moises Nunez. And so, you know, and he's been my friend for about a dozen years. And, so like, you know, being in that culture around, or not in, I shouldn't say in, but being around those cultures for so long, as I grew up, it kind of blew my mind to still see things as I grew up that was like, oh, this, like, living in Milwaukee, my friends out there had to tell me that we couldn't walk around in groups of more than 2, because if they saw some Black kids walking around in group, but they said, if you want to walk your ass up the street and go grab some snacks by yourself, you're completely safe. But if you're out here walking in groups, you're either going to get shot at by somebody, picked up by the police, something bad, you know. And so one of their rules of thumbs was, if we're going out, we're always strapped. And so, like, it's just insane the level that sometimes they felt like they had to take it to just to be safe, because those things are still happening. This was half a dozen years ago when I was living in Milwaukee, you know, and that's not a law. They're not legally have to be picked up just because you're walking around after dark in a group of 3, but that's what the code out there in Milwaukee was for those officers. And so as I've just kind of grown up, my innocence of that was kind of taken away as you get older, and you see, like we were talking about, systematic racism, this stuff that is still going on that we just don't see, because I'm not in that culture. I visited that culture. I took part in a little bit of that culture and then left. I didn't have to stay there. You know, I didn't have to live in that culture, so I can never truly understand that. But to see that there are still these things going on within those culture that are just blatantly racist blew my mind, you know. And so obviously there's still a lot more change ahead of us, and there's a lot more things that we could, you know, bring up, talk about, push for. And so I want to, from the entire MWAH troop, just tell you to keep going, man. Like, this is absolutely 100% the direction that you should be taking with this. Props to you for even being able to, you know, carrying this cross a little bit, and trying to, I know, like you said, plenty of support behind you, and, you know, you've had a lot of help, but you've done a lot to spearhead this. And so thank you for everything that you've done thus far. And I know Aaron kind of brought this up earlier to me, but like, can you just fill us in on what's next, man?
Well, you know, we are we're still fighting. So we're just now touching the courts, and we're gonna let these things play out, and it's justice for Amir Locke. And so those are the things that are going on legally on that end. Musically, there was a song that I dropped before that was before this new song, Where the Love At. It's a song called So Thankful that I recorded with the Grammy Award winning group The Sounds of Blackness and Grammy Award winner Jamesia Bennett.
Okay.
Beautiful songstress and writer, producer. She actually directed the video for So Thankful. And that song was a tribute to Amir. And so the next things is continuing to make change. What I would like to start doing, what I will be doing here, doing more of, is doing speaking engagements and having people book me for speaking engagements at different colleges where we can talk about the steps that it took to get the no-knock restrictions passed and how other people can do it in their communities. So those are some of the things that I'll be doing. So I'll be doing speaking engagements to encourage kids. I'll be setting up for bookings here shortly, and to push forward with those things, and also looking for funding for those things, because it takes money to be able to travel from state to state, from school to school. It's going to take some backing. So I'm looking for those things, and also I'll be starting my own organization, the ARL, the Andre R. Locke, Amir R. Locke, Andre Jr. R. Locke Foundation, where we push for music and social justice, where we can make change.
Okay. That's awesome, man. That's exciting to hear. So what exactly would that foundation kind of, you said looking for like music and social justice kind of
well I'll do so here's the thing. We're musically inclined.
Right.
So I want to be able to help children. I want to help some of these kids, because everybody and their mama rap and sing now. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but everyone doesn't have the actual relationships, because it's about the relationships in order to get to a certain level.
Right.
So I want to be able to help supply the relationships to help get to a certain level. And those are that's the direction that I like to take that. But also with the social justice and fighting against police corruption, we want to be able to where we can have officers come into the community again, where they can build a relationship with the community like they used to.
Yeah, so that foundation would kind of carry on what you're doing right now, what you have been doing, pushing for, social justice at large, whatever the topic may be. Okay, that's beautiful, man. I love to hear that. That's exciting stuff. Obviously, you're gonna keep pushing with the music. We're excited to hear what you got next, man. Aaron, did you have any more questions for Buddy? I know you had some stuff prepared.
I had one question that I it's one of those, I wrote it so well, I want to ask, just because I think it's something, having seen the stories and watched like just how this has transpired and the way that you've been. I want to read it here. Where did you get your internal monologue of positivity from, and like having the mindset of not of revenge or spite, but of it was constructive rebellion, kind of like, because something bad happened, you want to fight back in a way sometimes that's can be negative for yourself or others, but the way that you went about things in such a positive way, but yet was still like you're fighting the system, like you've mentioned before. And obviously you mentioned having this spiritual and how God has been a part of all of this, which is, it's great, and I'm sure that's part of this answer too. Mm-hmm. But for me, it's just how can someone take what you've kind of have gone through, whether it's their own tragedy, and can have that positivity to move forward each day after something's gone so bad, but yet like you've been so constructive and positive with that? Where does that come from?
That comes from my mother. And my mother was strong and she was positive, and seeing some of the things that she went through, and just being able to witness her strength as a mother raising 5 children and working 2 jobs, and coming home and making sure that we made it to school on time and everything, and just teaching us everything, teaching us how to tell time on a regular clock, you know, to look at the big hand and the small hand. I'm saying all of these things to say that my mother instilled in us strength. So some of us have it a little bit more than others in the family, um, and I was one of them that she felt that would be extremely strong. And I don't quite see myself being strong like that, because we all have our moments. And let's be realistic. Um, if it was up to me personally, if it was up to me, if I had to listen to myself, I wouldn't be here. So let's just be real. So if I had to listen to my immediate thoughts, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
But when I was able to sit still and being able to listen to God, because I couldn't hear anybody else either. I wasn't listening to anything anyone was saying to me. Nothing. But me being able to hear from God, and God telling me to be still, and he'll give me direction. And this hurt, and this deep hurt that I'm still going through, I talk to my son every day. I talk to him there consistently, because it's his turn to watch over us. It's his turn to protect us, and to protect this family. He got these little brothers and younger sisters that I and also I have a granddaughter as well. So he has a niece that I just that when I talk to him, man, keep us all safe, keep us all out of harm's way. For whatever you knew, whatever God knew, that He was able to take you and to bring you to where He is right now, at the age of 22. I would like to know why someday. Um, but it opened my eyes to that it's a bigger picture than just helping the mayor. Some people look at people as a sacrifice. I can't say he was a sacrifice or anything like that, but I can say that there was purpose behind it. And I'm learning this purpose, that this purpose is to make change. And for whatever reason, God uses individuals, whether if it was for me or if it was for him, his life is profound, and he's made a mark on this country and on the world, that that'll forever be there, even with us living in this um, matrix of media. So everyone has their 15 minutes of fame. It's on to the next story. So we forget. People forget, but the family doesn't forget, because we have to live it consistently.
Yeah.
Because we did love him. Amir was a human. Amir was my son. Amir was his mother's baby. And we have to keep those things in mind. So that's where my strength comes from. And I just really had to learn how to listen to God. I'm talking about really. Listen to him. Really had to listen. Really have to listen, because it made me want to call on every relationship that I had ever made, and I made a lot of them. All things are possible. All things are possible to him who believes in Christ Jesus.
And there it is.
Yeah, facto.
Yeah. Well, thank you, buddy, for coming on and sharing your heart with us. Like I said, we appreciate everything that you're doing, and obviously we'll continue to do. I don't think that there's a whole lot that could stop you at this point. Love to see your determination and just your drive behind everything that's going on. We're very excited to see what's ahead of you, man. You got a lot of big stuff ahead of you, and we're definitely excited to see where that takes you. So we'll be looking out for you, brother.
One more thing too. So, another thing that's important is the threat level. Threats are real as well. You have some of these groups out here that's so against what we're doing to make change. The threat level is real as well. So, I'm thankful that the Department of Justice, that they were able to come in to do their findings. Where Minneapolis was, the Minneapolis PD were found guilty of discrimination primarily against Blacks and Indigenous people, and at every level. When I say at every level, where they have to do a dissent decree, and with that dissent decree, that is supposed to bring change. So, retaliation, they were guilty of retaliation and each of those things. So those are some things that that often, from time to time, plays in the back of my mind as well.
Yeah.
So I'm thankful that we have coverage on that end, because they're watching everything.
Yeah.
So this is a dirty thing, man. It's so much. This stuff is filled with so much corruption. It's just some people get into these theories, conspiracy theories and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But this stuff is just really, really happening.
Yeah.
These things, this corruption is at the height. You wouldn't believe it, man. It's amazing the things that you have to go through in order to to get justice. But we're not done. We're just getting started.
Yeah, and I really do believe, man, with the people you got behind you, I think that in the end, as far as what justice can be served at this point, I believe that that's coming. I really do, and so we'll just keep on encouraging you in that, man.
And let me be clear, that's all we're asking for. We just want accountability. Yeah. We just want accountability, and because it's not going to bring Amir back.
Right.
We just want accountability. We want the mayor of Minneapolis to step up to the plate. We want the MPD to step up to the plate. We're just looking for accountability.
Yeah.
So, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. Not at all. I think that for what has happened, that you guys deserve that at least, or the community deserves that at least. Everybody involved.
Yes,
we can't just skip over it. We can't just pretend it didn't happen. Even if we make the changes, we have to address it.
And I'm happy that you said that. And I'll end it with this. I want to send a shout out to Sherry Garraway and also Nakimi Levy Armstrong. These are the activists and civil rights activists that are pushing in the community here in Minnesota. Every time there's a police shooting or anything that involves the police, and not just that, they deal with homeless people encampments. Every issue, they're at every issue. These women are amazing women that are helping these families to seek justice, and not only that, to seek housing, to seek accountability. These women are remarkable, man, and I just want to send a shout out to them. And our family and families are absolutely thankful. Families against police brutality, families that fight for police brutality, that fight against police brutality. That's the organization. So, I just want to tip my hat to those ladies because they're keeping things going in the community for positivity and to make change.
Definitely. They sound like some amazing women. Yes. I mean, to be taking on, that's just a lot of tough. I mean, everything that you said, it's all tough stuff to deal with, and for them to be taking all of that head on, yeah, kudos to them. Hats off. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm glad you brought that up.
Very cool.
So, I think that will kind of bring us to the end here. We really do. We appreciate you coming on. We wish you the best of luck moving forward. Obviously on the legal side of things, and with the agendas that you're kind of pushing on the social justice side of things. After talking to you, obviously, I think that what you're doing is amazing. And I think that there's still a lot of change to come, and you're going to be a big part of that. So thank you so much for what you're doing, man.
Man, thank you guys, man. Thank you for having me. Thank you for even considering me. And you know, and here we are, man.
Talk again soon.
Yes.
No, it's good talking to you, man. You take care.
You as well. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.